Good morning, guys. Can you hear me?
Good morning.
Good morning, Belinda. Can you hear me okay? Belinda, can you hear me? One, two,
Yes, I
three.
can hear you.
Belinda, can you hear me?
I can hear.
Oh, hold on. Testing, testing. Can you guys hear me? One, two, three.
I can hear. Can you hear me?
Oh, why am I not getting the audio?
Hello, hello.
All right, I think I'm good now. I don't know why I don't have any video though. That's strange. Very weird.
I see your OBS screen.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm trying to get the camera, built-in camera, to see me, pick me up. For some reason, it's not doing it. Okay. Very strange. Can you guys see my screen that I'm sharing?
No,
Okay.
now I can.
Now
Now I
you can.
can. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's very weird. I don't know why my camera's not turning on, but anyway, I got to show you guys the screen today anyway. Very weird. All right, so let's go.
Your dad's doctor appointments went well last week.
They did. They did. There
Good.
were just they were for a little aches and pains. It wasn't anything serious.
Okay.
Thank God. Yes, baby. I'm talking with the agents that work in my office. My dad, abuelo. Yes, baby. Okay. I'm not gonna be able to help you. Okay, I have to have my agents right now. When I'm done, then I'll help you. In the meantime, you can ask Dr. You can ask Caitlin. Okay. Okay. All right. You guys there? Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, all good. I
Okay,
see
good,
you.
good, good. All right, so I'm gonna have to go the complicated way to get you guys a beautiful image of my face. So let's go ahead and get started with today's lesson. All right, we've got a few people in here, but we're gonna make it very impactful for the ones who are joining us today, and the ones who joined us a little late, they're just gonna have to catch up. So what I want to talk to you guys about today is about your business, about how we can improve our business from the standpoint of somebody who has created a formula that has worked not only for creating one business, but creating over 50 businesses. I took a very, very thorough, very expensive course with Tony Robbins a couple of years ago. And if you want to take that same course, it's going to cost you over $5,000 just to go to this business mastery event. And today I'm going to talk to you guys about some of the basics of what we took away from that training, what you can apply to your business, and how you can, use these little tidbits to kind of like push yourself forward and get to that next level. So it's going to be really impactful, in my opinion. I'm going to go as deep as you guys want. And I'm also going to ask you guys a lot of questions. I want you guys to get personal. We have a small group today, so I'm going to ask you guys to get personal about where you are in this in these fields and how well you're doing with them and what you're still lacking and what you need help in. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and get started with that right now. Let's see if I can share my screen with you guys. Okay. All right. So the first thing I want to show you is this diagram right here. It's called the 7 Forces of Business Mastery. This is a whole chapter within itself, but I'm going to break down the principal points, the most important things for you guys to understand this. We're going to take it in small increments. We're not going to overwhelm ourselves with it. So that way we can understand it better and we can break down each individual part. Now, who here on this call has either heard of Business Mastery or been to Business Mastery or wants to go to Business Mastery, anything like that? Or you guys have no idea what it is?
First time hearing of it.
Me too.
I'm sorry, Vanya, what was that?
I said me too. I don't know what it is.
Thank you for participating. Whatever you said, it didn't come across too good on my end, but it's a very thorough business. I would say 5-day deep dive into your business. There's people that attend these things that don't even have a business yet, and they want to get started with a business. And there's people who have 8-figure businesses that go to these events to get to that next level too. So there's everything in between. So if you guys ever get the opportunity to go, I highly recommend it. It's tax deductible. Obviously, a portion of it is, and you get a lot out of it. And you have to be an extreme extrovert when you go there. You got to meet as many people as you can because there's a lot of important people in that room that you'll hopefully one day join forces with in one way or another. All right, so let me go ahead and get started with the 7 forces of business mastery. Let's start with the biggest section of the cone first. Here, and all the way to the left, we see number 1, it says, know where you really are and create an effective business map. So what happens a lot of times with us is that we're kind of delusional about where we are in our business. Businesses have phases like children. And Tony gets into that too later on in the book, in this manual here. He gets into that later on about how when you first get into real estate or you first start your business, your baby is a newborn. and you have to treat it as such. And then it matures into an infant, then it matures into a toddler, then it matures into a teenager, then it matures into a young adult, then it matures into a full-grown adult. And then at one point, you stop innovating, you stop growing, so you start turning into a little bit over the hill type of business, and you start losing your edge. And it happens in a way where we don't even realize it. We don't realize it. And what's important about what he's talking about here is we have to realize where we really are in our business and create an effective business map. He doesn't say a business plan, he says a business map to know exactly where you have to go for your next steps. All right. So question number one, what business are you really in? Okay. How's business? Identify the gaps between where you are and where you want to be. Okay. So this is a loaded question. Number one is a loaded question. I'm going to start with the first part that's underlined. It says, what business are you really in? The reason why he asked this is because if you're going to be at a dinner party, you're going to go to a barbecue, an event, anything like that, and someone asks you, what do you do for a living? The quick answer, even for myself, sometimes I find myself saying is, oh, I'm in real estate, or I'm a real estate agent, or I'm a real estate broker, or whatever it is that you call yourself. How typical is that of an answer? Probably very typical. There's probably other people in the room who do the same thing. But if you change your answer to something like, well, I help people reach their dreams of home ownership. That sounds a lot different than I'm a real estate agent. Well, I help real estate, I help investors make a lot of money. I help real estate investors make a ton of cash flow. Really? How do you do that? That sparks questions. But when you tell someone I'm a real estate agent, it's kind of like, okay, next question. Next question. You kind of want to leave a little curiosity in your answers, but at the same time, we want to train ourselves when we do our business map here. We want to train ourselves as like, what business am I really in? I'm at a real estate business, but what do I do within the real estate business? What is really my objective in the real estate business? What is my ideal client? What am I purpose? What's my mission in this? Am I just doing this just to make money? If it is, then what business are you really in? I mean, you probably say hoping to make money business. That's the business I'm in, hoping to make money. So that's not what we're doing, guys. We're making impacts. Like if somebody were to ask me, and I had an answer for this, I'll share with you guys. Well, my answer came up after learning what Tony said is, I provide the right culture and innovation for real estate agents. Like, what the hell does that mean? Oh, I own a real estate office and I help a lot of agents reach their goals. That's kind of what I do. So like when you say something that is impactful and it has a meaning towards it, not only does it make the other person want to inquire more about it, but it also trains you that you're not just another real estate agent. You're not just another mom. You're not just, single dad. Like all these things that you do in life, it doesn't just have to be in business. That's what you are. That's what business you're in. Your personal life is definitely part of your business, and your business part of your personal life. There is no distinction. There is no fine lines, guys. It's all one. If anyone here considers themselves a true entrepreneur, you know that you include your family in your business and vice versa. So it really has to be all impactful. Next thing is how's business? Let's be honest. How's business? For me, I'll be honest with you, business is not great. I need to grow the crew more. I need to get more business down here in Florida. You have to be honest, because if you're complacent and you're like, oh yeah, I'm doing just fine. I'm doing just fine. And I could barely pay the mortgage this month, but I'm doing good. Like that's not being honest with yourself, because who but you should you be telling the truth to? I mean, you be honest with yourself and you're creating these things. Say, look, business is subpar. It could be a lot better, and it will be a lot better. So answer this question honestly. I'm gonna give you guys these PDFs, obviously, before we end this meeting. I'm gonna send it to everyone. And then identify the gaps between where you are and where you want to be. So what is missing from being that icon agent? What's missing from doing 100 transactions a year? Right? These are the questions we need to ask ourselves. What's missing from having work-life balance, if there ever is one? What's missing? Like these are the critical questions we need to ask ourselves in order to get to that level. And just to give you an idea, and I'll stop for a second, I'll let you guys answer some of these. Just to give you an idea, I feel like what's missing between where you are and where you want to be, or where you want your business to be, is that you haven't provided enough value yet to be there. You haven't changed the person that you are enough yet to be that person. Once you do, then those effects will come. Everything comes as a cause and effect of the amount of value you add to the marketplace. The more valuable you are, and the more you bring, the more you get back. Okay, so it's not whoever wants money the most is going to get the most money. No, it's whoever works on themselves the most, whoever is the most impactful in other people's lives is the one who makes the most money. All right. So let me see if I can ask you guys the same question. What business are you guys in? What, one of you guys. It doesn't have to be the same person every time, but what do you think now? Now you're looking at this. What would you say? What business you're in? I want you guys, if you can, if you're not driving, write these answers down for yourselves. And obviously, I'll give you the PDF so you guys can do this in your own time as well and clean it up. But what kind of a business are you in? And I'm sorry for the kids are home from school. What business do you guys think you're in? Oh, John wants to talk. Go ahead, John. What business are you in, buddy?
Okay, maybe he did that by accident, but I'll go. I have
Go for it.
accustomed to
Belinda. You always
saying
say-
that I've been accustomed. I started to be accustomed to saying that I'm a lifestyle transition coordinator.
Hold on one second, okay? Just...
Mhm.
Can you repeat that?
A lifestyle transition coordinator.
Okay, I really, really, really like that. A lifestyle transition coordinator. Yeah, that would definitely spark up questions when you go somewhere. When you go to an event or party, or even if you go and see a client and they ask you, what is it that makes you different? Well, I don't call myself a real estate agent. I call myself a lifestyle transition coordinator. And do you know why I call myself that? It's because you're not just an average person who takes orders. You're a person who delivers results, because this is the kind of client that you service. You've niched down, you specialize, and that's why it's a good idea to work with a person such as yourself. Okay, so great answer, Belinda. That's an amazing answer. I love it. Guys, you guys may think that these things are a little silly at times, but believe me, and when you put them into practice, you're going to look back and say, wow, this really works. This is incredible. All right, so let's move on. Question number 2. Why did you get in this business originally? Why are you in it now? What do you need to get from this business long term? All right, so let's decipher that with the first part of the question. Why did you get into this business originally? For myself, I got into this business because I was passionate about it. That's one thing, guys, I will tell you right now, I will never take back, is the fact that when I got into this business, I was so passionate about it that I didn't care if I made money or when I made money. All I cared about was that I was in that business. It was a long story. Housing for me meant more than just, transactions. It meant to me helping families reach a goal that I never reached. My family never reached until very recently when I got into real estate. And to me, real estate agents are superheroes. I looked at them as abnormal people, extremely wealthy people. Like that's what my perception was of real estate agents, and I wanted to be in that club. It took me a year before I made any real money, but I was in it. I was in it for the passion, guys. I was in it because I knew what I didn't want, and what I didn't want was so painful that I didn't care how long it took to get there. I was going to get there. So that's what you got to ask yourself. Why are you in this business? Okay. Why are you in it now? What is it that drives you now? Because my why back then may not be my why now. My why now is my family. I want to make sure I'm able to provide for my family, leave a legacy, be able to be a good mentor, and be able to be a good, how would I say, example for them, to show them that, look, you can excel. And even when, chips are stacked against you, nothing about the topic, you can be the best. You could be one of the best. You can help people, you can transition people's lives. Like Belinda said, there's a lot you can do. So that's kind of like what drives me now, is just wanting to get to that very next level. And what do you need to get from this business long term? So that is a question that I don't think I've ever asked myself. And that's a question I think most of us have never asked, is what do you want from this business long term? Like not today, not what did you want before. And I actually look at my journal from 2015, and I looked at my journal, and I would write in my journal every morning. I was just looking at it this morning, and it said, every morning I would make my affirmations. I want to have 100 transactions this year. I want to have 100 transactions this year. I want to have 100 transactions this year. And then as I grew my real estate brokerage, I said, I want to have 100 agents. I want to have 100 agents. I want to have 100 agents. So now I ask myself, what do I want to accomplish long term from the business? But what do I want from the business itself besides maybe a monetary goal or maybe a number goal? Well, for me, what I would really want from my business is to know that my business is self-sufficient, where I can walk away and the business will still be there a year later. That's what I'm working towards, because that's when you've got a real business. When you don't have to be hands-on, when you don't have to be the decision maker, when you don't have to be putting out fires, that's when you've got a business. All right. Right now, a lot of us are working our way through in whatever stage we're at, where our business dictates basically all our day, our entire day, everything relies on us. And it should be, because we have to work our way up. There's never an instance where you can start from the top. We all have to start from the bottom. We cannot teach what we don't know. We cannot teach what we don't practice. So, and if we tried to, we wouldn't get any respect. How many people have seen, the new manager show up who doesn't have any experience working in that business before, just because they know a friend of a friend or something, no one respects that person. But if you put in your dues, people look up to you, and it's a good thing to have, because when you're a leader in leadership, you got to know what the people that are following you are going through, and that's important. All right, next question. Who are you, and who do you need, and who do you need? That is important. Now, the reason why he's asking that is that he doesn't want to know who you are, as far as like, oh, I'm Belinda, I'm John, I'm Ivania. He doesn't care. That's not why he's asking. Who are you basically means like, what are you talented at? Like, what is it that you're good at? Because whatever you're good at, you don't need another person like you. You need someone who's different than you. You need someone with a different set of skills that will complement your skills, and then you guys will have a good synergy. So for instance, let's keep going. Who are you, and what do you need? What is your true talent? Artist, skilled producer, leader, manager, or entrepreneur? Which one of these things are you guys? Are you the artist, or are you the one who loves to put in the work? Maybe you love taking listings, like that's your passion, like you're so passionate about it. Well, if that's the case, then you need someone who is the entrepreneur. You need someone who's going to scale your business. If you want to continue being that talented person who is really good at what they do, and you don't want to be in a kind of like the leadership position, you want to be the artist, you need an entrepreneur, or you need a manager, because you don't have time to manage, right? And if you scale, you need that. You need people. Or maybe you're the manager, then you need more skilled producers. Or maybe you're the entrepreneur, you're the visionary, you're the one with the ideas, you're the one with the growth mindset. Then you need the other two. So this question is a very good eye opener for a lot of people, because it helps you understand what type of person you really are and who you need. Does that make sense to you guys? Yeah. What would you categorize yourselves right now? It doesn't mean you have to be this forever. What do you think you are deep down inside?
Well, for me, Louis, I recently found that I am not the best at administrative things. I'm a lot better at being out there with people and networking, connecting. So would that be
So we
artist?
would eliminate leader manager. We would eliminate that, and
Uh-huh.
we would look into the two other buckets, which is skilled producer or artist, right? That would be you at the moment, or visionary entrepreneur, who doesn't like to be
Okay.
bogged down like Steve Jobs doesn't want to be bogged down with the weeds. He wants to make the big decisions that are going to make the company grow.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, but that's good that you guys are understanding the difference, because we can't be all things. It's very rare you find a person who's who's that type of person who can do anything. They're a leader, they're a manager, they're a producer, they're an entrepreneur. They're like everything in one. It's hard. It's very hard to find someone like that. And if you think that you're like that, you're probably more skilled in one area than you are in the others. And you got to be honest with yourself. Question number 4. Where are you in the economy, industry, your company, yourself, and your core team in the season of change? How do you need to prepare for the next season? Okay, so these are timeless questions, timeless, because there's always a different season. There's always a different season coming up. So where are you? Where are we in the economy right now, guys? Let's take the first part of this answer. Where are we in the economy? Right now, the economy, in my opinion, is very strong economy right now. Given the fact that we've been through what we've been through in the last year and a half, it's shocking how strong the economy is right now. I was looking at my notes within this business mastery book, and I took this class in 20. I want to say it was either the beginning of 2020 or is the end of 2019, one or the other. I think it was the beginning of 2020 I took this class. I want to say that. But I looked at my notes, and I when I answered this question, I answered the question saying that the real estate market is still pretty strong, but the luxury market is really dying out. That's what I wrote. And looking at where we are now, the market is way stronger than it was before. And I think even luxury properties are moving. I think everything is moving. So it's crazy, but you got to continuously ask yourself, what type of a market are we in? What is lying ahead? So now that I've answered the question, where are we in the economy? How is our industry doing? Because our real estate industry is obviously doing incredibly well for sellers, maybe not so much for buyers. How's your company doing? I feel like our company on a broad scale, eXp Realty is one of the strongest, if not the strongest real estate brand out there right now. I mean, I truly think that if I wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be attracting other people to come here. So that I can answer honestly, and I feel good about that. Where am I myself? Like, where am I mentally? I'm ready. Like, I am so ready. Like, I've never been this ready for the next chapter. I've never been this ready to help other people. I feel like I'm in a really good place. My core team, which is obviously, you guys, my level ones, my level twos, the people who have come through, obviously our work through, the last year and a half we've been with EXP, and then obviously the people who came with us from our previous company. You guys are my core team. Like, I rely on you guys just as much as you might rely on me. And the reason why is because we're nothing alone. Individually, we're not going to accomplish much. That's one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, why I chose to do the EXP model. Because when I had culture, it was really just me and Joelle pushing it forward. We were the ones who wanted to see the growth. But making everyone that I had in my office a partner instead of being just an agent that worked at my company really gave me the mindset that now that we've got this team, there's a real team who I can call a team, because we're working towards one common goal, which is growth, because you guys get compensated just as much as I get compensated for everything. And it feels like it's a symbiotic relationship where I help you, you help me, and we all very happy together. Like, that's one of the things that you have to see. And I feel like my core team, the ones who show up to trainings all the time, the ones who are always calling, the ones who are always participating, you guys know what it takes. You know exactly what it takes, but you're not perfect. No one is. I'm not perfect. No one is. And that's why we do these trainings, because we want to get more out of ourselves. We want to get more out of the day, and we know what we're capable of. I just think that there is no limitations, but sometimes we are our own worst enemies, and we need these reminders to know that, hey, you ain't the only one. There's $1 million businesses out there that need this kick in the butt that I'm teaching you guys today. These tough questions you need to ask yourself. All right. And what do you need to do to prepare for the next season? Right? You guys are fortune tellers, right? What's around the corner? In my mind, it's a correction. I think a correction is going to be long overdue. We've been in an upswing for over 10 years. Ever since 2008, 2009, home prices have done nothing but go up. The economy has done nothing but go up. We took a 1 month break in March of last year, and that's it. Like, this is insane. We're all due for a correction, and we know what comes during corrections. We have foreclosures, we have short sales, we have investors, and we have sellers who can't sell their homes. Like, we have all these things. So what we need to do to prepare for that next season is prepare ourselves mentally, prepare ourselves in this business. If we need to sharpen our skills, we need to get the right people in our corner, the right team, the right designations. That's the time to do it, is now, not when it comes, is now. Question number 5, what's next? Create a compelling future. All right. That's where we are right there, creating a compelling future. So only you can dictate your future, guys, because the future has not been written yet. You know, maybe God has a future for you, but you don't know it because you haven't written it yet, and you haven't told yourself what your future is going to look like. Whatever that future looks like for you, you guys need to write that down. It's going to be a big one for you. Now let's move on to the next section here, where we have constant strategic innovation, right? Constant strategic innovation. So the reason why companies fall and fail and end up not doing well long term is because they don't innovate. They get comfortable. They consistently get complacent. And I'll be honest with you guys right now, complacency comes to a lot of people who have achieved high goals because they think they can rest. And what happens? There's somebody out there that's hungrier than you, that saw you set that bar, and they use you as an example. Because once you've done something that's great, someone else is going to be able to replicate that, guys, no matter what it is. Whatever your accomplishment is, someone is right behind you trying to chase you and beat you. So what I mean by that is that once you've reached the goal, you have to find another goal. Once you've accomplished something that you saw someone else do, you have to find a bigger mentor. You consistently have to innovate yourself, consistently have to innovate your product, consistently your services, consistently innovate everything. I met a young man over the weekend who owns a Mexican restaurant with his parents, and he was telling me that the kitchen's too small, and they've been there for a long time, and it really there's only so much they can do because of the size of the operation. And I said to him, I said, well, at the end of the day, bro, I said, business is just two things. It's innovation and marketing. So how can you innovate the taco? He said, I don't know. I'm not sure. And I asked him, I said, well, what about doing a delivery service? Have you thought about that? He's like, yeah. I was like, I told my parents about that, but we haven't really looked into it. And I said, well, listen, if you're limited on space, man, like, you got to start thinking outside the box. You got to innovate, but not only your business, but innovate the food. What if you did a different spin on a taco, like something that no one has had before, something that's very rare to come by? And I started telling him about this Mexican restaurant that I went to in Sarasota, where they had all different types of variations of tacos. They had the Cuban sandwich taco, they had the falafel taco, they had the all different types of things that you never thought would be in a taco. Crazy. And I said, why don't you try something like that? Maybe you might find an audience for it. And then once you do, you're gonna have to let people know. Remember, the second side of that coin is marketing. You could be the best real estate agent in the world. You could have the best Mexican food in the world, but if you don't tell people, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you have if you don't understand how to market yourself, how to put yourself out there, how to get over your fears of the camera, how to make time for marketing, which some people think that is not business, because you don't see the benefit, you don't see the reward right away. Maybe you see the reward 6 months from now. Maybe you get the reward a year from now, but you market today will give you results in the future. So I'm getting into a little bit of a tangent, but products, services, delivery, these are constant strategic innovation points that we need to stress in whatever we do, in order to be able to make sure that we are standing out from within the crowd, and that we are delivering exceptional service where people actually remember us. People want to come back to us. I got a call while we started our training. I didn't answer it, but I saw the name, and it's a client that I serviced probably 10 years ago. I haven't talked to them in 10 years. Like, I must have done something right, because they're calling me. The other day I had another client call me, same thing. Haven't serviced them in 10 years. Wants to refer me someone. That's because you have to deliver, guys. You have to deliver an impact on someone's life that is different from what anyone else can do. So it comes with time, and then you guys obviously always have to make sure you're not getting comfortable. Let's move on. Number 3, CANI, CANI, of world-class marketing and product promises. Okay, CANI stands for constant and never-ending improvement. Do you guys can you guys follow that? Constant and never-ending improvement.
Yep, I got it. Thanks.
That's Tony's thing. Okay, so constant and never-ending improvement of world-class marketing and product promises. So if your product is you better make sure that you're promising somebody something spectacular. If you are the product, well, then you got to talk about your accomplishments. You have to give testimonials about the people you've helped. You have to have those people also serve as your microphone. Ask for referrals. People love hearing from their friends who they should work with, who they should buy from. Oh, thank you, baby. That's so beautiful. I love it. Look, guys, she made me a shirt. How nice is that? Thank you, baby.
Ah, cool.
It's awesome.
Tie-dye. It's beautiful. Thank you. All right. Section 4 of that says, Kanai, constant and never-ending improvement of sales mastery systems. So if you've got a product, and let's just say your product might happen to be a course, maybe you guys want to do a real estate course, or maybe you guys do a, I don't know, a spiritual course, mentoring course, whatever it is that you have a course for, constant never-ending sales mastery system. So I don't know. I mean, to everybody, it's different. Some people's businesses is a product, some people, their businesses themselves, but it doesn't change the principle that you have to consistently master, selling yourself or master selling that product, because things all consistently change. They always will change. And, back in the 80s, billboards worked really well, and then TV commercials were the norm. Nowadays, it's all about, your circle of influence, how you can put yourself out on social media. Now, a lot of agents are spending a ton of money on billboards, but I don't think they're getting a ton of business from the billboard. It's more about brand recognition. So it comes in it's different. It serves different purposes. But I feel the best person they could buy from you or buy with you is someone who has seen you, feels like they know you, and also has been referred to you. I think it could, correct me if I'm wrong, but I felt like those are clients that have been the most loyal. All right, let me work into my next section, and I'm open up for you some questions for you guys. All right, so number 5, constant application, the power of financial and legal analysis. Okay, this is a little bit above my pay grade. I'll be very honest with you guys, but I will tell you this much. This is the part that I've lacked in a lot, which has been the financial aspect of it, which is why I've leaned a lot on Joelle, because she's really crunched our numbers for us over the years. And when we started looking at our numbers, and we started looking at the cost of what it really used to cost us to run an operation, and we looked at obviously where we can make some changes, where we can cut back, and where we can improve. It really did change. It really did change a lot, because at the end of the day, guys, it's not really about how much money you're making, right? Because we all have our months where we make a pretty good penny. It's about how much is going out that door. How much money are you spending to keep your operations going? And this is something we've spoken about before in the past, about creating a budget that you can stick to, that'll help you grow the company, and it'll help you also reinvest into the company. Because if all the money is going for things that are not benefiting the company, if they're all going for utilities, or they're all going for things that aren't bringing any value to your bottom line, then that's not good. But if now you have a line item for, let's say, I don't know, a virtual assistant. Well, we know that you getting a virtual assistant is going to help, because it's going to cost you some money maybe in the short term, but in the long term, it's going to allow you to be more productive. So, we have to look at that. What things are necessary, what things are not. Who is expendable, who is not expendable. These are the kind of things or I shouldn't say who, I should say what roles are expendable, what roles aren't. All right. Number 6, constant optimization and maximization. This is another thing that I spoke to the gentleman over the weekend about, who owns the Mexican restaurant. I asked him, what is your highest grossing dish? Have you ever looked at that? What's your biggest money maker? And he didn't know how to answer that. So same question goes to you guys. What is your most profitable client? What is the most profitable transaction for you? Is it short sales? Is it working with listings and just regular sellers? Is it working with high qualified investors? Is it working with buyers? What has been the quickest turnaround time for you? What has been the longest turnaround time for you? What has been the highest commission check you've got? Those are the things you need to ask yourself. Because why? Because when you find out that answer, then you double down, right? You double down. So for instance, if I had a hardware store and I sold 1,000 items, but the majority of my revenue is made from 20 items, well, I think I'm going to promote those 20 items more. And I think I'm going to have more of those 20 items and less of everything else. Or maybe you turn into a specialty store, or maybe you turn into a specialized real estate agent within a certain niche in real estate. Those are the things that we need to ask ourselves. instead of running around with a chicken with a head cut off. And that's one thing that I do like about starting over here, because I get to pick what I want to do now. You know, one agent who contacted me from Colorado wants to move out here says, how is it restarting your business out there? Because I want to come out there, I want to restart my real estate business. I said, honestly, it's not going to be as hard as it was for you the first time. Even though you're coming to a new land where you don't know and you don't know anyone, you already know real estate and you're already valuable. You already have a lot of value to give. You meeting people is just gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's inevitable. You're gonna meet people. You're gonna start making new connections. People from your state are gonna move here and they're gonna work with you. But why I think it's an advantage to you coming here and starting over is you get to reinvent your business. You get to do the business you want to do. You no longer have to say yes to certain business because you're used to saying yes to that kind of business. You can literally start a new chapter and only work with sellers, or only work with luxury listings, or only work with luxury buyers, or only work with relocation people. If that's what you want, that's what you need, that's what you're going to do. So that's why I feel like optimization and maximization, guys, is super crucial, super important. Marketing campaigns. If you got 3 marketing campaigns and one of them is working outstanding for you, then you maximize that, you optimize that, and you leave the other 2 alone. Same thing, everything goes the same. All right, number 7, victory zone. Constantly create raving fans, customers, and culture. Okay, go flush it, please. Sorry, guys. Victory zone. Constantly create raving fan customers and culture. Okay, so when your fans are doing all the raving for you, when I say your fans, I mean your clients, and there should be no distinguishing the 2. Your fans, your clients, your fans, same people. They're not 2 different sets of people. You're not a football player, you're not a movie star, and you think to yourself, I don't have any fans. Well, your clients are your fans. If you can't turn your clients into your fans, then you're not doing something right. You're delivering subpar service and you're delivering subpar expectations. When you can create that type of realization in your mind that there is no difference in the 2, then you're going to start to have a business that flourishes even without you trying as hard as you initially did in the very beginning, because they're going to work for you. So revisiting that, let's just imagine, close your eyes if you have to, if you need to visualize this. Imagine if you're a movie star or an athlete, whoever that person is, there's someone you really admire who's up there. Maybe it's, Beyonce, or maybe it's, I don't know, Chris Paul was crushing it last night. So maybe you think you're Chris Paul, whoever it is that you think you are in your mind, someone you admire. Close your eyes and imagine that a fan came up to you, and a fan comes up to you and says, hey, can I take a picture with you? How honored would you feel? How honored would you feel? How fast would you sign something for them? How honored would you be to, have somebody admire you that much? Well, look at your clients the same way. Think about how you can impress yourself to your clients where they look at you as someone that they strive to be like. Maybe not because they want to be a real estate agent, but maybe they see the way you carry yourself, the way you handle your business, the way that you're so patient with them, or maybe the way that you explain things to them. You could turn your clients into your fans by providing exceptional service, by being an exceptional human being, by being selfless to an extent. Obviously, we don't want people taking advantage of us. That's something I've taught to you guys. We have to distinguish between tire kickers and people who are serious, because at the end of the day, we are a walking business, and we can't work with it. We can't work with someone who's not respecting our time. And shout out to Ivania. She's actually one of the first agents who's actually come up to me and told me she's fired buyers. So once we do get someone who is serious, we have to treat them as if they are a fan. Okay. And the people who are not serious, think of them as almost people who are, I don't know, hecklers, or people who love you today, hate you tomorrow. That's something I guess you would compare that to. But with all of that being said, if we follow this strategy that Tony kind of laid out here for us, this is a pretty good recipe. I feel like this is a really good recipe for us to be able to kind of visualize our business and see where we want to take it, where we're going to be, and how to think about our business. Our business is an ever evolving, complex structure that if we don't figure out on a, I would say quarterly basis at least, where we are, where we're going, who we are, what we need, who our clients are, how we can improve. If we don't do this, then we kind of lose track. We look back a year later, 2 years later, like, whoa, man, I missed so many things. I mean, my business went from being X and now it's Z, or Z and now it's X, or whatever the case may be. So really important to always consistently ask yourself these questions and get yourself in this kind of mindset to make it to that goal of everyone's that we have for ourselves and for our business. So with all that being said, obviously let me go ahead and stop for a second and take some questions and ask you guys these questions, ask you guys what you think, and really want your opinion on what I said today. So don't be shy, guys. Lay it on me. Tell me what you got. I'll ask you guys the questions.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go for it.
Oh, I was just going to say it's very good. It gave me, just like you said, I have a problem with that word plan, because to me, saying the word plan almost can lead you into a mental failure, especially when those plans don't go according to how you planned it out. You don't tend to let things fall into place when you have plans. But having a map is definitely different, because just like you said, it is next steps. So that really does change your psyche and how you look at your business
Yeah.
and what's going to come.
Yeah.
Great point.
Go for it, Tabby.
Well, definitely I'm interested because I actually invited someone to this call. Her name is Maria. Maria, don't be shy. I'm going to introduce you. Maria and her husband, they are already into flipping homes. They own multiple businesses and they were on the wholesaling side. And now she's come over to be on the front facing end. So I'm very excited to welcome her. She caught last week's call, even though it was a short one. And this is her second time joining. Maria, you want to say hi real quick?
Hello, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, hi,
This
Maria.
is Maria. Yes, thank you so much for having me.
No problem.
It looks like this is really great because sometimes if you're on your own or if you're with another broker, you kind of feel lost, and this kind of sets up your week.
Mm-hmm.
I just really enjoy it.
Yes, and I got the link to Maria a little late. So first, before I ask my question, I wanted to say, Louis, this is recorded and you have it on your YouTube Culture Estate channel?
No, it's not on the Culture Estate channel. I have a separate channel that I just post the recordings on. I'll send you guys the link once we're done here.
Okay, great. Thank you. And I'll send that to you, Maria, because Maria just chimed in. But what I thought was really cool about Maria, because she has been in admin and run offices for most of her life, and that's her forte. So we went to dinner the other night and she was telling me, I was telling her, I'm not so good at admin. And she says, yes, you're a personality I. She's taken the personality test. She knows it very well. She meets people, she can identify. So I guess my question to you is, now I'm realizing, yes, I'm more of a people person. I'm not an admin. Is there, like, I know there was personality test, the DISC test, right? So I wanted to ask you, Louis, is that the one that you suggest taking, or because I have not taken it yet?
Yeah,
to find my teammates is kind of like what I'm trying to do is, I do want to link up with people who are maybe better at something that I'm not, because I'm not the greatest with the whole admin part,
Of course. Yeah, you can take a DISC test for free online. I believe Tony Robbins bought the rights to the DISC test thing, but yeah, it's free. You can take it online and see what kind of a person you are. And then you can see what kind of people you want to attract. Let me give you a quick example. There's an agent who works with us. His name is Harry Page. He is an extreme artist and he is horrible at the other two. So he teamed up with his fiance, and she's amazing at organization. She's a great manager, and I feel she would probably be a great entrepreneur as well. And she's actually like a triple threat, because he's actually pretty good with selling too. But I would say that a person like Harry is going to be successful because he is so good at being an artist, but he is going to be next level when he partners up with people who can fill those other voids that he has, like can't fill out a contract, he has no patience with people, when it comes to like management and things like that. So he definitely needs someone like Liz or Elizabeth to help him in the other two voids. And the same thing goes for you guys. I'm sure you're really good at some certain things. You need other people in your corner to fill out the other parts that are not so apparently easy, for you. So hopefully that helps you.
So basically that's at the point when I'm like scaling up. So right now it's all on me. I have to figure it all out. And then when I start scaling, then I want to make sure I'm having these people take this test and I take it so that way I know who's going to match with me.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, and once you find someone who is like really, really good, and you see what kind of personality, how they rate, you want to kind of like keep that as notes because I had someone who worked with us many, many years ago, and I had her take a disc test, not because I was trying to figure out like what kind of a person she was, but I said to myself in the future, if I ever need to hire someone else, I want them to have your attributes. So think about that. You might have someone in your family who you're not going to hire, but maybe you want somebody like that, or maybe somebody in your circle of friends who you want to attract. Have them take a disc test and then try to match up their characteristics with someone else.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Makes sense, right? Cool.
Definitely.
Yeah. Anyone else want to add anything before we kind of wrap things up? All right. The second PDF I want to talk to you guys about, which I'll do really quickly here while we still have a few minutes. I'm sorry I cut this off a little bit. I'll get you guys a better copy of it once I straighten out my printer. The 7 forces of business mastery. Know where you really are and create an effective business plan. We'll just recap everything we talked about. What business are you really in? That's a question we ask ourselves. How's business? Identify the gaps between where you are and where you want to be. Number 2, why did you get into this business originally? Why are you in it now? What do you need to get from this business long term? Number 3, who are you and who do you need? Right, that's the one we just spoke about with Tabby. Where are you in the economy, industry, your company, yourself, your core team, season of change? Season of change is Tony references seasons of change as real seasons, like as winter. Winter's coming, like winter, what happens during winter? You hunker down and you have to live off your reserves. Are you in a winter right now, or are you in spring where you're planting? Or are you in summer when you're seeing the growth? Are you in fall when you're actually taking profit? You're taking whatever you reaping what you sowed from years ago or months ago. What season are you in your life? If your season right now is reaping, then you should be nervous because what comes right after the reaping? It's winter. Make sure you understand that, guys, where you are in the season of your life. What's next? Create a compelling future. Take stock and create. Basically, be honest with yourself and figure out what's coming up and what you need, what kind of a future you want to have. So what you have now and what you need to get in order to get there. Hold on a second, guys. I have somebody. These people are Monday are really loud with these weed whackers outside. What's your 30 to 300% growth plan? All right, that we'll get into next week. I didn't cover that with you guys today, but an easy way to grow your company or your business 30 to 300%, very easy by making small incremental changes. We'll cover that next week. What's your reward system? So obviously, in order for you to get anything done, you want to give yourselves goals, but not only goals, but rewards that come along with those goals. Maybe if you hit a certain milestone, you treat yourself and your family to a weekend vacation, something like that, whatever the case may be, right? Section 2 says constant strategic innovation, product, services, and delivery, whatever we talked about earlier. Number 1 would be strategy and innovation. Like, what are we innovating? Are we innovating our service, our product, ourselves? Number 2, add more value to products and services. And I would add a little more to that. Add more value to products and services than anyone else. So look for someone who you want to emulate and do more than that person does. And I guarantee you that's a great recipe for you guys to get to that next level. Even in Maria's case, so she's a flipper. Go to some open houses, what other builders do, and emulate their style if you like what they're doing, but one up them. Maybe get better staging, maybe get better finishes, maybe throw in a 6-burner stove while they're doing 4-burner stoves. The difference is only a couple $100, but it makes a big difference to the end user. Little things like that go a long way. Number 3, know who your customer is and know your customer's needs. Who your customer needs to be, but what they value, what they need, what their needs, wants, and what will fulfill them. So you got to really know your client inside and out. You have to know your client better than they know themselves. That's very important. Psychological. When I meet people now, I met with a couple last week who the husband is the emotional guy and the wife is the analytical person. So usually it's the other way around. Usually the wife's the emotional one and the husband's the analytical one. So when I met them, I said, okay, I used to never do this before. I used to never try to psychologically understand the people. And the husband told me stories about in the past how they wanted to buy a car They wanted to buy a car back in the 80s. She wanted like the safest car. She read all the consumer reports. She did like all these fact checks and she checked off every box that met their needs. Meanwhile, he wanted a Corvette, which met none of the needs. Everything on their list was completely against them buying the Corvette. What do you think they bought? Do you think they bought the Subaru or do you think they bought the Corvette?
Ooh, I hope they bought the Subaru, but I think they bought the Corvette.
They bought the Corvette. So they basically just told me right now that the husband has the final word. And now that they're looking for a house down here, what do you think is happening? She wants all the practicalities and he wants to be close to the beach. Right. What do you think is going to end up happening?
Beach time it is.
We're going to have a beach house. That's what's going to happen. You know, so when your clients talk to you, you got to listen and you got to understand them. You got to understand them better and know themselves, even though they're telling me, yeah, well, we want a house that has this and that and this and this and this and this and this. Maybe that might be true, but I'm going to show you all these homes that have this practical nature about them. And then I'm going to take you to see a beach house. It's probably outside your price range. And guess which one they're probably going to buy? Probably going to buy a beach house, you know? So just keep that in mind. People tell you things, you got to listen. Number 3, Kanai member constant and never-ending improvement of world-class marketing and product promises. What is your X factor? You know, you need that. We all talked about that, about X factor. What makes you different than the other agent? What makes you different from anyone else out there? No matter what you do, you need an X factor. Number 2, produce, deliver, and serve the customer in a way that produces raving fans. Remember, guys, you're not going to be the real estate agent. You're going to be the, I don't know, the movie star that you look up to, you know, Brad Pitt or, you know, Scarlett Johansson, whoever it is that you think in your head that's like a super movie star. And imagine what they feel like when people come up to them. You want your clients to feel the same way when they talk to you, you know, when they see you. You know, I want you to feel like they're your fans, because if you treat them that way, they will be your biggest source of referrals. But we have to treat them so well, you know, like incredibly well, and just and consistently thank them, you know, because you know, you don't have a business if you don't have clients, guys. So thank them for choosing you, because real estate agents are the second most abundant element in the universe, next to hydrogen. So if it wasn't for them trusting you, then they would be working with the next person. So that's today's mastermind, guys. Do you guys have any questions or anything you want to add?
So you said this was Tony Robbins' business mastery course that you paid like $5,000 for, right? So he still has it.
Oh yeah, he still does it. He does Business Mastery 1 and Business Mastery 2. Each one of them is $5,000 a piece.
Okay.
And the room is packed.
Okay, very cool. Thank you. I didn't catch the first part. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I'll go through a lot of these important parts in this book with you guys to help you create a better mindset around your business. We'll go from there.
Sweet. I'm looking forward to next week.
Absolutely. Okay. Anyone
Yes,
else?
Thank you. No, thank you for sharing.
No worries. No
Thank you
worries.
for sharing.
Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you tremendously.
Thank you for the invite. Appreciate it.
No worries. Thank you for being here with us, Maria.
Come next week, Maria. Learn some more. Stay connected,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, and I'll share the video with everyone after it loads, okay?
Okay.
All right, awesome. Let's go ahead and close out with our prayer. Father God, thank you. Father, we always thank you for having us here, Father, in good health, for having us here, Father, ready to learn and eager to get to that next level in our life. Father, we thank you for all the blessings that we already have. We thank you for the roof over our heads, the food on our table, and our family's health. But Father, we always ask you to consistently make us better versions of our former self. And we ask you to never, ever get complacent and always walk with you, Father. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you, everyone. Have an
Thank
amazing day.
you.
Bye-bye.
Amen. Thank you.